Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mave Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. To go for any medication, the disease has to be understood. The disease is attachment. Solution is knowledge. And here we are talking about the how deadly is this attachment. How deadly it is. See, how to understand something as a disease when it is so pleasurable, when it gives you so much of quick instant pleasure, how can you even understand it as going to cause you pain? Because the logic is, if it gives you joy, now it should be continuously giving joy. If it gives pain, it will continuously give pain. That is the logic with which the mind operates. How to even understand this attachment is a deadly, how to even understand this attachment is a deadly disease. How this disease has spread in all aspects of the personality. That's what we are discussing. How this disease has spread in all aspects of the personality. Material, physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. These are the areas in which this disease has spread. Yes. We have a clarification based on last week, and then we'll move on to the next one. The few clarifications that we had from the previous classes. The first clarification, Mala. The exercise routine or going abroad for education, etc., themselves appear to be a herd instinct. Our Ayurveda Shastra is very clear about who should and who should not do the exercise. I'm not able to understand what is the question in that. Next one. She is only making a statement. There's no question here. Clarifications. இவ்வளோ கொஸ்டின்லாம் அலோடா? That itself looks like one Vedanta treatise books. Clarifications by Ranjini. It is clear that human needs peace, security, and happiness, and wealth is not the way to that. Also, the understanding says wealth has a limited transactional utility, and it is foolishness to expect wealth to provide peace, security, happiness directly or indirectly. Then what exactly is the way to peace, security, and happiness? First question. If wealth is not the way to peace, security, and happiness, what is the way to peace, security, and happiness? The only way to peace, security, and happiness is Brahman. Till you realize your fullness, till you recognize you are Purnam, you will not know it. The one and only way to attain peace, security, happiness is this. And the human mind will try everything other than this. Except this, it will want to see. Except this, it will want to try everything else. Sometimes it will try with the wealth, sometimes it will try with the body, sometimes it will try with emotion, sometimes it will try with holding on to some ideas and ideologies. As long as your attention is extrovert, no peace, security, happiness. Relatively speaking. Ultimately speaking, it is Brahman. Relatively speaking, as long as your attention is extrovert, there cannot be peace, security, and happiness. Are you able to follow? See, attention outside means your mental state is decided by others. That's what is meant by extrovert. Your mental state is decided by everything other than you. You don't decide. And that person comes and asks how to be peaceful, how to be happy, how to feel secure. Vedanta says, turn inward. No, I cannot turn inward and all, but tell me how to find peace, security, and happiness. For which I will say, please explore. And if you find any method, come and teach me also. Because according to Vedanta, there is no other. If you explore and find out, by being an extrovert also you can be peaceful, secure, and happy, we will follow that. Because at the end of the day, we are not having a fanatic attachment to anything. What is the only way to find peace, security, and happiness? Absolutely, moksha, liberation. Relatively, it is turning introvert. Anything useful is not happiness. You find something useful for what? The usefulness itself is not happiness. Only when you use it and get what you want, happiness comes. Are you able to follow? Per se, there is no happiness in it. Something is useful. When it becomes useful, you say wealth is useful. When? It's there in the bank and you can't use it, no. Or there are so many people in the world being rich, and why can't you be happy with that wealth? Why can't you be happy at the wealth of somebody else? Why will you need happiness to say? Are you able to follow? Wealth per se with anybody, does it give you happiness? Wealth per se with Kubera, does it give you happiness? Wealth per se, Lakshmi, does it give you happiness? So wealth gives happiness when? Wealth gives happiness when? First, you have to call it as my wealth. First condition. Second condition is what? Using that, you should be able to transact and get what you want. And when you get what you want, happiness comes then only. Wealth is not going to bring happiness. With wealth, you buy an object. That object is going to give happiness. So wealth gives you the capacity to buy an object, and happiness is going to come from what now? Are you able to follow? Happiness is going to come from what? Happiness is not going to come from wealth. Through the wealth, you have to buy an object. So it is object that brings happiness, not wealth. You okay till now? And when you buy an object, you always feel cheated. You have paid a very heavy price. Any object you buy, you always feel the price you paid is high. Have you ever felt you have paid the right price? You cannot. Even if you buy one bunch of leaves, coriander. Even if you buy one bunch of coriander leaves also, you feel you have paid you have paid higher, isn't it? Have you ever felt in any object you bought, you have paid the right price? You cannot. You cannot feel like that. Why? Why? Why you don't feel like that? You don't want to part with the wealth, even to buy object that will give you happiness. You want the wealth to be there and the wealth to be growing, and the object also has to be bought and not pay the price. Object should come, the best object should come, the wealth also should not reduce, go away. How can there be any peace, security, happiness with this kind of attitude behind wealth? Are you okay till now? It means, what is the cause for this agitation? It is not lack of wealth. The cause for agitation is the wrong knowledge, the wrong attitude behind wealth. So here, what are we trying to educate? We're not saying wealth is useless, get rid of wealth. We don't say that. In Vedanta, it is not said wealth, get rid of wealth. Wealth is useless. We don't say that, because of the 4 purusharthas in life, artha is, Vedas have declared it very clearly. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Of the 4 Chaturveda purusharthas, artha is one. Therefore, it is never against wealth. Are you able to follow? But the attitude that you have behind wealth makes you feel so insecure. That is what it is being. That's what we are being taught. Are you able to follow? Therefore, if you can't find peace, security, happiness through wealth, relatively, where will you find it? If you are extrovert, you can never be peaceful, secure, happiness relatively. In the absolute sense, peace, security, and happiness, or you can say relative peace, security, happiness, permanent security, peace, permanent. Peace, security, happiness, which go relative and absolute. Relative is when you turn introvert. Absolute is when you recognize that you are Purnam. You are the source of peace. You are the source of security. You are the source of happiness. What can bring you that? If anything can bring you that, it can take it away also. Any peace, security, happiness brought by something is not peace, security, and happiness. Why? Because if it can bring you that, what it can do? It can take it away also. It means you be a permanent slave. This suffocation that people feel in the initial stages of spiritual growth is called samsara. So the human being asks, is there any way out of this samsara? Are you able to follow? If something can bring you happiness, be assured the same thing is going to give you. If something can give you happiness, that thing can give you misery. Take it or leave it. If something can give you misery, it can give you. So it means the nature of every object is what? The nature of every object is what? At one point of time, it appears to give you misery. At another point in time, it appears to give you happiness. Are you able to follow? At what point in time it appears to give you happiness? When you are pampered. Very simple. When you are pampered, it appears to give you happiness. When you are not pampered, Ram Subramaniam. When you are pampered, it appears to give you happiness. When you are not pampered, it appears to give you misery. When attention is paid on you, it is happiness. When attention is not paid to you, it is misery. Are you able to follow? This attachment. It's attachment in a self-obsession. That's all. What is attachment? Attachment is nothing but obsessed with yourself. You keep yourself as the center of the planet and worry as though everything is revolving around you. You come out of it, you understand how blissful is this life. But you cannot come out of it because everything in life you have to keep yourself as the center. Why this person is saying this to me? Why this person is not saying this to me? Why person is talking to me? Why this person is not talking to me? Why this person is talking to me? Why this person is doing this to me? Why this person is not doing this to me? Each and every moment of your life, the attention is upon you. So for everybody, they are the center of the planet. Why only planet? Center of the multiverse. Yeah, universe. For every individual, they are the center of the multiverse. How can there be any peace, security, and happiness? Drop the self obsession. Stop keeping yourself as the center. But sir, where you are the center? You remove yourself as the center, that's all. Don't worry about who should be replaced with. Now, where you are the center? That will cause more agony now. Not only you are not the center, somebody else becoming the center will cause excruciating agony. Suicidal it is. Either way we only. But sir, can we keep God, sir? Can we replace it with God, sir? God is spelling God is DOG you write. So what God you can replace? Ramtirtha says when you ask somebody to write God, the person writes it as Ore spelling that God. Reverse panna DOG. Ramtirtha says that. And this is the knowledge of God. So how can you replace? How can you replace it with God? All the effort is what? Replace. Take yourself out. Take yourself out. Are you okay till now? Next clarification. How to convince the mind that where I am, as I am, I need not ask for more in terms of currency, property, assets, bank account, because the mind keeps going back to all forms of wealth. Currency, property, asset, bank account. I am getting tempted now. Where I am, as I am, you have to necessarily ask for more. You cannot stop yourself asking for more. Why? Because as you are today, you think you are. You believe that you are unhappy, and only if I get it, I'll be happy. Only if things go your way, I can be happy. If things don't go my way, I cannot be happy. This is what you are now. So you will be automatically asking. Are you able to follow? As you are now, you think if things go your way, you can be happy. If things don't go your way, you will be unhappy. Are you able to follow? If you understand the right knowledge as to what all we are going to discuss, then there is a possibility. Are you able to follow? As you are today, you cannot. Why? Because you believe that if you get it only, as I am today, I am unhappy. And if I get it, I'll be happy. As I am today, I don't have any respect at all. If I get respect, I'll be happy. Correct? Somebody can think like that. Another person can say, as I am today, nobody is loving me. And if somebody loves me, I'll be happy. Another person can think, as I am today, I have no wealth at all. So if I get some wealth, அது wealth வந்துச்சுன்னா கூடவே மரியாதை, respect, affection, all comes because everything is money, wealth. So another person believes that if wealth comes, rest will, doesn't matter what it is. As you are today, you think that having something extra is going to make you happy. Are you able to follow? As you are today, having something extra, that extra always keeps you unhappy. Srikant, புரியுதுல்ல? As you are today, you always think that extra irundada I can be happy. And what is that? What is the quantum of that extra? What is the quantum of that extra? That's why it is endless. See, at least the stomach can be peaceful, happy for a few hours. You know that, no? See, you are hungry, and how much can you eat? Okay, let us say you are hungry and you have had 35 idlis. Assume that you have had 35 idlis. There's nothing wrong. If you work hard, you will eat. What is wrong in that? In a மாதிரி சும்மாவே உட்கார்ந்திருந்தா 2 இட்லி போறோம், isn't it? You want 2 idlis, you feel like, oh my God, I feel like suffocated. Another person, 35 idlis, also feels still hungry. So it's not 35 or 2. At some point of time, you feel satiated and you can say thank you. When it comes to these things, can you ever feel satiated? You cannot feel satiated, isn't it? How much wealth you can say I'm satiated? At least idli, each stomach says few hours. How much wealth if you come, how much wealth if you get, you can feel satiated and say at least for a few years. How much wealth? There is no list. There's no end. How many people, if they adore you and follow you, you will be happy and say, இவ்வளவு பேர் போறோம் சார், எனக்கு 4 பேர் போறோம், 2 பேர் போறோம், or ஒருத்தர் போறோம், our whole town is enough. How many? Are you able to follow? Never ever the point comes. That's where in some other place he says, when is enough? Enough. That point doesn't come at all. So as I am today, as you are today, if you think the addition is going to make you happy, or removal of certain things will make you happy. See, either you want something to be happy, or you want something to get rid of to be happy. Irunda, I'll be happy. Idallam thik potta, I'll be happy. Thank God you don't think life goes on, isn't it? What you wanted to get rid of is what you are desperate about at one point of time. You are so desperate about it at one point of time, and desperately you want something at one point of time, and desperately you will want to get rid of it also at some point of time. When you are at one point of time, even a small headache in your body is so painful. When you are having a terminal disease and you are not dying and you want to desperately get rid of, at one point of time you are extremely attached to the body, at another point in time you want to desperately get rid of the body also, isn't it? And physically, and I say physically means I have 3 people in my experience. They held my hand and they were crying. You, when will I die? Sav varmatendrathu. I am not dying. When will I die? When will I die? The same person few years back, ready to do anything to be alive. Now the same person ready to do anything to. Are you able to follow? As you are, if you understand this, you will be peaceful. What you are desperate about is what is going to, you want desperately something and you want to get rid of. You follow? Next clarification. Quantum of wealth does not determine peace, security, and happiness. We have dealt with it. Dependency or running away from wealth is not the way to peace, security, and happiness. We have dealt with it. Now the third question. How does one know how much of wealth is needed? Now she is asking, I want to do yajna karma. Adukku how much of wealth is needed? How much of wealth is needed to do yajna karma? I want to do dhanam, sir. To do that dhanam, how much of wealth is required is the question. To do dhanam, what is required? To do dhanam, what is required? Wealth is not required to do dhanam. To do dhanam, attitude to give, affection is required. To do dhanam, affection is required. Affection in abundance is required. Where there is affection and affection in abundance, there is a willingness to give. So whatsoever you have, you will give. Whatsoever you have, you will give. Earlier days, when I used to go to the village during the summer holidays, I used to see one of the, I think he's my he's my mother's grandfather. Now who's he to me? Great grandfather. Huh? That man doesn't have, poor fellow. That man is literally doesn't have anything at all. Every summer I used to see him. He will carry 2 clay pots, fill with water, carry it to the main road, sit there for 5-6 hours, giving water to all the people who are going. Even now I remember that man. I used to stand there and watch him. From where is he getting so much of energy to do that? He is not living in any luxury. By any means, he is not giving luxury. Why? Because all the family collectively put together is feeding him. But that man had that willingness to give. Opposite of that is what? Everything you have and you lock it up and you can't, and you don't even want anybody to, you don't want anybody to even come to your house. Opposite of that is this man is going and sitting and giving. Are you able to follow? So in order to give, what do you need? In order to share, in order to give, what do you need? Wealth is not needed. First thing that is primary requirement to give is affection. Affection is required. A concern is required. Where there is affection and concern, you will want to give. And to give, there are million things that you can give, not necessarily wealth. Are you okay till now? There is this beautiful law of life. Remember this. There is this fantastic law, beautiful law of life. The moment you develop this affection and concern and wanting to give, nature provides you with so much that you can give. Remember this. But you don't have that concern. You follow? The moment you have this genuine concern to share and give, from where it comes, how it comes, God only knows, but it comes. It gives you in abundance. And you can give it so, and when you give, your giving is so joyful, so blissful. So to do yajna karma, how much wealth is required? To do yajna karma, wealth is not required. What is required? Another wealth is required. What is that wealth that is required to do yajna karma? First thing, identification is required. Affection is required. Concern is required. If there is affection, concern, and identification, you will see how, as you are today, you have a million things that you can give. The moment you have it, you can see as you are today, how many things you have to give. You follow? All questions answered. Another over.
That's one more question.
One more irkame inno. Hari, I'll come to you now. How to draw the boundary and where to draw the boundary and say this is all I need or I need more. இது போரும் இதுக்கு மேல not necessary. How to draw the boundary? First thing, there is no boundary like that. Remember, you live a life of frugality and tapas. That is the way you draw a boundary. The way to draw the boundary is by frugality and tapas. You can't actually say this much. There's no physical boundary that you can draw. Clear? 60-40 square feet mari boundary போட முடியாது, isn't it? What 50-100? 50-100? 50-100 ஒரு boundary வச்சிருக்காங்க sir. We have to ensure that the 50-100 boundary is very clear. There's no boundary like that here. What is the boundary? Frugality, tapas. Frugality is the boundary. Tapas is the boundary. What is frugality? What is frugality? That's why we talk about standardization. We talk about exam, we talk about standardization. We talk about, draw a comfortable line. Draw a comfortable line, isn't it? See, you hoard so much that you don't even remember how much you have. Supposing if I ask everybody here, do you all know how many t-shirts you have? Okay. Do you all know how much of gold you have? Correct? There are people who may not know how much of gold they have. T-shirt mari isn't it? So why do you have to? So what is tapas here? What is tapas here? Hoarding. To an extent where you don't even know what you have. Nature provided you with abundance to give you a wonderful opportunity to share, to drop the ego and grow. And when you are blessed with that abundance, what do you do? Sir, what is your problem, sir? I work, I earn, I buy. What is your problem? Why do I have to share? I'm not stealing. I'm not begging. I work hard. I do all this. What is your problem? There's no problem. Or what is the problem? Suffering is the problem. Everyone follow? What is the line? Frugality is the line. What is frugality? Ask yourself, wherever you don't remember what you have, the Puranic stories talk about Naraka for each and everything to make you aware of it. Don't take it literally and all. Even if you take it literally and get frightened and stop also, you still benefit it. Naraka in the Puranic stories talks about Naraka for each and everything. There is a Naraka. Are you okay? So where do you draw the line? So you draw the line. Frugality and tapas. Frugality is what? Standardization. Okay, this much I will fit. Predetermine it. This much I will. Example of frugality is what? Going to a supermarket with the list in hand. If you don't have a list in hand and go to the supermarket, you buy So many things. After coming home, you realize that 70% of the things that you bought is not useful at all. And it will just lay there. It will just stay there from market to the table, from the table to the bin. From the market to the table, from the table to the bin. Atrocity, அநியாயத்துக்கு இங்கிலீஷ்ல என்ன வார்த்தை? Atrocity அது. I don't know, whatever it's அநியாயம். Are you able to follow? Tapas is not suffering, self-suffering. Tapas is you voluntarily minimize your demands so that you can share that much extra. That is tapas. What is tapas? Tapas is a voluntary, you voluntarily sacrifice Why? Because you can share more. So tapas is a voluntary act. When it is voluntary, it is not suffering. When it is voluntary, willingly done, it is not suffering. Okay. Over. Hari, unmute Hari. He has something.
Hari.
Yeah, yes, Hari.
See, the fundamental question is the very fundamental reason for unhappiness, is it not fear? To elaborate that question, I know that my body, mind and my body mind intellect complex is different from the life-giving power.
Yes.
But my identification and with my body mind complex is so strong that I feel that my body mind and intellect complex can protect the life-giving power, or in other words, Atman.
Yes.
I feel the body, my BMI can protect my attachment to my unintelligent attachment to my Atman is very strong, that I want to protect my body, mind and intellect can protect the Atman. Though the whole scenario looks to be very absurd.
Yes.
But in actuality, I feel my body, yes, BMI is more powerful than the Atman, and it is more capable and responsible to protect my Atman.
Hari.
Is my could I express myself correctly?
Yes.
Can you throw me some light? Why are we so
yes,
so ignorant?
Hari.
Yes, sir.
Are you any chance friend of our SRL Shankar?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Adan. Theriyudu correct.
Yeah, we attend classes together.
Influence. You can see the influence. Shankar, இப்படி influence பண்ணுவீங்க. You are supposed to influence people rightly. விஜய், இது மிஸ்டிக்கல் பவர் மேஜிக்லாம் இல்லப்பா. பேசும்போதே தெரியுது எங்க இருந்து வருது இதெல்லாம் அப்படின்னு. இல்லையா?
No, to that extent we are not.
Hari, to answer your question, first, what is your question?
That why do I feel that I am responsible to my
Yes.
That I want to protect. I am afraid my
The
life
question,
give.
yes. The question is, Hari is asking, why is it so strong that if the body, mind, and intellect is saved and protected, he is saved and he is protected. He is using the word Atman and all that in a very liberal way. But the question that he is asking is, why is it that, how is it that, even though how much ever is heard about the absurdity of all that, why is it that in the protection of the body, mind, and intellect, he feels safe, he feels protected? Why is it so ignorant? Why is a human being so ignorant? Are you able to follow? Hari, did I explain it rightly?
Yeah, but I also feel
Now,
in a stupid.
Now are you answering or asking me a question now?
No, I am trying to explain my
Yes.
question.
Yes.
I feel that my body, mind, and intellect is
Yes.
responsible to protect Atman, the life-giving souls.
Okay. He is saying, if that is the question, I said Shankar's influence. Okay. He is saying, body, mind, and intellect is necessary to save God. So I am saving God.
Yeah, individual God,
because only if body, mind, intellect is there, God will be there. Therefore, look at the I'm not saying Hari has tamasic intellect, but look at the function of the tamasic intellect. Seeing everything as ulta.
Yeah.
Life-giving force has to be self-capable. It doesn't need protection. If you say Atman is life-giving force, Hari.
Yes.
If we say Atman is life-giving force, life-giving means it doesn't need a, why does the giver need a supporter?
No.
It doesn't need. But when you say life-giving force, Atman has to be supported by my body. So only if I keep my body, mind, intellect intact, life-giving force will have some job to do. What? Keep giving life. Therefore, I am doing a favor to life-giving force by keeping body, mind, intellect intact. No. No. Are you able to follow? No. Why? If you say Atman is the life-giving force, it is capable of independent existence. If it is not capable of independent existence, don't worry. How much ever you try to protect it, it can't be protected. Therefore, Atman doesn't need protection. The mind is coming up with an argument not to let go of body, mind, intellect. That's all. To that extent, Hari is very clear. That he concluded second. Some reasoning is needed, some justification is needed in everybody not to let go of body, mind, and intellect. Now, the justification to not to let go of body, mind, intellect attachment, the body, mind, intellect attachment is what now? This is very much needed for, it is very much needed for, I'm keeping it alive only for the sake of Atman. I'm keeping it only for the sake of Atman. I don't need it, sir. Atman Gosram, I am keeping it. For the sake of Atman, I am keeping it. Therefore, allow me to keep it. For the sake of Atman. I am not keeping it for myself. I am not keeping it for something else. I am keeping it for the sake of Atman. The answer is no. You have to revisit and come back with what is your understanding of Atman next week. 1 week, I'm giving you homework. 1 week homework. Come back with what is your understanding of the word Atman. Come back with that understanding. The question will be clear. What you are asking will be clear. I'm not getting into the discussion of Atman now. I want you to think and come back so that we can discuss it. Seriya? So come back. Yes. Anshu, what is your problem now?
So we're discussing the mind wreaks havoc, and when we are thinking of material aspects of life, so we see what wealth can give and what it cannot give. So it's a delusion.
Yes.
So is the cause of delusion the mind, or is it a lack of intellect?
Both. Okay. The question that Anshu is asking is, we are talking mind wreaks havoc. And we are saying wealth doesn't cause. Wealth is not the reason for happiness. Now her question is if wealth is not the reason for happiness, what is causing this? Is it the delusion of the mind or lack of intellect? Correct, Anshu?
Yes, sir.
Did I understand your question correctly?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Is it the lack of intellect or delusion that is causing this misunderstanding? What is the misunderstanding in relation to wealth? Or generally everything that we are going to discuss. Till now we have discussed wealth, therefore we are talking about wealth. Correct, Anshu?
Yes, sir. Yes.
It is two sides to the same coin. When you look at it from one angle, it is lack of intellect. When you look at it from the other side of the coin, it is delusion. But both are two sides to the same coin. Delusion is because of lack of intellect. And when you have intellect, delusion goes away. You can't say I have a very good intellect and still deluded. That is not possible. No, that possibility doesn't exist at all, where you can have intellect and be deluded also. It is not possible. Therefore, delusional is one side. Delusion is one side. The delusion is one side. The other side is lack of intellect. Are you able to follow?
So, sir, is it okay to say that when intellect becomes sharper, the delusion goes, and so the mind does not feel agitated?
Yes. Mind and delusion are together. Mind and delusion are synonyms. When intellect is sharp, the right knowledge itself removes the ignorance away. When the ignorance goes away, by default, mind will behave. You don't have to worry about making the mind obey and all that. By default, it will obey. Why? Because it has the right understanding. Because it has got the right understanding now. Are you able to follow? If it has the right understanding, it obeys.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. What is Mala saying? Mala. Is it our karma vasana that is binding the mind with confusion and not allowing the intellect to function? Is it our karma vasana that is binding the mind with confusion and not allowing the intellect to function? Karma vasana is attachment. Mala. Karma vasana is nothing but attachment. Because of unintelligent way of living in the past, you have accumulated certain karmas, which is attachment. So karma vasana is nothing but attachment. So your attachment today, your possessiveness today is all because of what? Because of your own creation. The karma vasana is your own creation. When we say karma vasana is your own creation, means it is your own, you are reaping the consequences of what is karma vasana? Reaping the consequences of the past. Whose past? Your past. So if the intellect is not strong enough today, it means what have you been doing in the past? If your intellect is not strong today, what have you been doing in the past? What is anybody doing in the past? What everybody did in the past? You can't say doing in the past. Yeah. What everybody did in the past. What everybody did in the past. Simply pampering their mind. That's all. Pampering their mind, following their raga and dvesha. Kama, raga, dvesha. Karma vasana is when you unintelligently follow your kama, raga, dvesha, you have a consequence to that. Craving for what you don't have. Attachment to what you have. And not wanting a few things is the kama, raga, dvesha. Pampering the mind means what? Pampering the mind in a right 3 words. Kama, raga, dvesha. Kama means craving for what you don't have. Raga means attachment to what you have. So as you are attached to what you have, you don't want, as you are attached to what you have, you want something else. Okay. As you are attached to what you have, you want something else and you don't want something else to happen. All these 3 produced a karma vasana of today. What is this karma vasana that it has produced for today? The karma vasana that it has produced for today is attachment, misery, suffering. Are you able to follow? Mala. Therefore, it is because of your past. Past means unintelligent kama, raga, dvesha. Is okay? புரிஞ்சுதா? என்ன டெக்ஸ்ட் படிக்கிறோம்? What text are we reading? Srikanth. ஏதோ உபனிஷத் படிக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்குது. What text are we reading?
Fall of human.
Fall of human intellect.
Holocaust of attachment.
Holocaust of attachment. Okay. அதுக்கு தான் கேட்டேன். என்ன டெக்ஸ்ட்னே Ravi, what text are we reading? Holocaust. Okay. Holocaust of attachment. In this Holocaust of attachment, we finished with எது finish பண்ணிருக்கோம்? Wealth. Yes.
So till we gain the right knowledge, mind will continue to misbehave.
The clarification that she is asking is continuing from Anshu. Now continuity from Anshu. She is asking, till the knowledge is gained, will the mind continue to misbehave? Correct? Yes. It will continue to misbehave. Arjuna in chapter 6, beautiful chapter 6. Arjuna asks this question in chapter 6. Krishna says, it is Astira and Chanchala. Mind is Astira and Chanchala. Arjuna adds another two more. Krishna, the class learning adu sollada vittinga. Enna mind ku 4 irukudhu, he says. You only mentioned the two. Maybe you forgot about the other two. He corrects Krishna. He says, Astira, Chanchala, Balavat, Dridam. He adds two more. In verse number 31, 32 of chapter 6, Krishna says, Astira, Chanchala. That's all he says. Arjuna says, poor Krishna, lack of memory he has. No, clear. So Arjuna adds the two in his question in verses 37. He adds these two and says, Astira, Chanchala, Balavat, Dridam. In the mind, eppudiyavadu control avuma first of all. Can this mind be controlled at all? No, you are talking about control. And Arjuna would have been very irritated listening to the advice of Karma Yoga for an hour. He is listening to that advice. He would have gotten very irritated, gotten very angry. He got actually angry with Krishna and said, this mind of Astira, Chanchala, Balavat, Dridam, Krishna, do you think it is possible to control at all? Yoga Vasishta Rama asks, is there anybody who has actually controlled it? Story illam cholladingo, he said. So, don't give me a story that 5,000 years back this fellow did, and don't give me another story that 10,000 years back Nachiketas went to that. Idella story. I don't want all the story. Kandagu nera irukra 15 perle, is there anybody who has done it? Rama in Yoga Vasishta. Arjuna here. Astira, Chanchala, Balavat, Dridam. Dridam na obstinate. Adam pudigirathu. It will not yield. It will not. Like the lead plate, it will not get up. Body will not move. Mind will not move. Nothing will move. Only things you have to take a whip and whack that person, either die or get up and do something. You follow? Don't do all this up, please. Vijay. Vijay Rangan, story mari ketutu utrungo. I know you don't practice all this. That's why I'm telling you so liberally. Why I'm talking so liberally? Because I know nobody is going to practice any of these things. Srikanth. If anybody practices, a disclaimer, it is your problem, not the problem of us. So Dridam, now it is so obstinate it is. It will not get up. How to control this mind, Arjuna? How to control? Can this mind be controlled at all, Krishna? Another word he uses is Balavat. Balavatna. It is Dridam, obstinate. Balavat. The raga, the intensity of the raga and dvesha is so strong. Okay, you have a strong raga dvesha, at least work towards it. No. Adu kuda pannadu. Astira and Chanchala. It will have a strong obstinate raga and dvesha, Astira and Chanchala. Abdi menjine irukum. What will be the consequence of it? Anshu. What will be the consequence of it? Stand in front of the mirror. Yeah. The consequence. What will be the consequence of it? Stand in front of the mirror? The consequence is very. Can this mind be controlled? Extraordinary answer he gives. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha ghyate. A few have gotten it, Arjuna. Few have gotten it. No, he's asking. What are you asking? Don't you see me standing in front of you and talking to you, and you are asking, can this mind be? Can this mind be controlled? But your God, no, it is easy for, I'm talking about human beings, Krishna. The answer is what? I will not control my, I will not do this abhyas. Abhyasena to kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. Somebody, some get it. By what? By abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasana, Shravana, Manana. Abhyasana, practice. Practice of what? Shravana, Manana, etc. Vairagya is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga, Panda, you develop Vairagya. This rendu manamata, sir, but any other method other than these two? Krishna says, I don't know. This is the only method that I know. Ahuhu. This is what I have been taught. If there is any other method, please go and explore. For there is no other method. Are you able to follow? Vairagyena cha grihyate. Vairagya comes through Karma Yoga. Practice of what? Shravana and Manana. So it is these two. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. Of the two, Shravana Manana kuda konja relatively easy. And just in the intellectual entertainment, Shravana Manana people do. Vairagya is untouched, unattended at all, because the sheer intellectual entertainment can make people to listen, can do all that. Because it is it's a very good another form of entertainment. Another good feeling, isn't it? Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha. It is gotten through vairagya. And what is vairagya? What is vairagya? The understanding, the capacity to see, the understanding that you have developed to know that kama, raga, dvesha are the only enemies sitting inside you, causing misery. Again, that which causes misery is these three: kama, raga, dvesha. And where is it sitting? Where is the location of these three? In the mind, in you, in the mind. Vairagya is a pratignya you take. What is the pratignya you take? I will not do actions on ragadvesha type of actions. I will not do obligatory nitya naimittika actions. I will do. Whoever takes that vow and tries to stick to it as much as possible is practicing vairagya. Whoever practices this vairagya, mind gets under, mind behaves. Are you able to follow? Exactly the exactly opposite of it is refusing to do that which ought to be, refusing to do the right action. Why I refuse to do? Because my mind is tempted to do something else. My mind wants to do something else. Mind is tempted to do something else. Mind is so interested in something else. Mind has pitched up so much of value for something else that it cannot do this. That is where Shravana Manana, knowledge helps. Knowledge continuously drills in. When knowledge is continuously drilled in, and you also practice little bit vairagya, abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. Verse number 37, chapter 6, 37-38. Arjuna asks the question: Astira, Chanchala, Balavat, Dridam. நாலு கிருஷ்ணா ஏதாவது ஒன்னு இருந்தாலே கஷ்டம். Yeah, even if one is there, it is difficult to manage. If all the four is sitting together in one entity, what to do? Arjuna is asking. இந்த மைண்ட் கண்ட்ரோல் அது இதெல்லாம் ஜஸ்ட் லெக்சருக்கு மட்டுமா அல்லது உண்மையிலேயே இதெல்லாம் பாசிபிளா? That's what he's asking. Is it good to give it as a discourse and have a talk about it, or is it actually possible at all? நான் ட்ரை பண்ண எனக்கு ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகல. Is there anybody who has tried it and achieved it? That's a question. I'm trying. I'm not able to. But is there anybody who has tried it and mastered it? Arjuna. This is the perennial problem of attachment. This is the perennial problem of attachment. Attachment is a bondage. Attachment is a bondage. What is the bondage? The bondage is you pay so much of attention about yourself and you think everybody is looking at you only, isn't it? As though the whole world is worried about you only. And what is the reality? Everybody is so preoccupied. No fault of anybody. Just as you are preoccupied with your kama, raga and dvesha, but others don't have anything else to do or what? They are also preoccupied with their kama, raga and dvesha. Where is the problem? Are you able to follow? But attachment makes you to believe that you are. Attachment makes you to believe that you are the center. And everybody is looking at you. You asked about delusion, no, Anshu. I'll give you an example of delusion now. All human beings are so worried about the opinions of others, and yet they have absolute no value for others also. Have you ever observed this? Have you ever observed this paradox? Ganesh. Purida, first of all. Are you able to follow? You are so concerned about the opinion of others, at the same time, you absolutely don't value also. Yeah. See, when you value, you will go and try to obey. Yeah. But on the other side, you don't care, and yet you are so concerned. If this is not insanity, delusion, what is delusion? Are you able to follow? வேதாந்தால ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகுமா தெரியல இல்லையா? The attention is upon yourself all the time. And you get irritated when others don't pay that much attention. You are self-attention. Others don't pay that much attention. You get very irritated, upset. If nobody pays attention, what do? When nobody pays attention, what do? You will not stay quiet. You will go and knock at each and every door, begging, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, isn't it? And when they start paying attention, And when they start paying attention, what do they do? The only way that you know how to pay attention is by what? See, when you go and ask, pay attention to me, what are you asking? Do you understand what you are asking? Without asking for anything in return from me, pamper me. Adha. Mira, you're able to follow? What is self-obsession? You go and ask the other, pay attention to me, and in return, don't ask anything from me. Because in return, if you ask anything from me, people are torturing, sir. Suffocating, sir. Who? The neighbor is torturing? The fellow in Argentina is suffocating you? The person in Japan is suffocating you? Who's suffocating you? Who's torturing you? Who's torturing you? Who's suffocating you? You say, pay attention to me, to somebody, and that person says, I will pay attention to you. But there is a price for that. Oh, how can people be so selfish, sir? Vedanta is correct. Are you able to follow? Vedanta is very correct, sir. People are all very selfish. Why? Because nobody is paying unconditional pampering. Nobody is doing unconditional pampering. Are you able to follow? So you go and beg. First of all, why do you go and beg? Why can't you be self-sufficient? No, sir, I am very weak. I have to go and beg. And when you go and beg, what will the other do? You want the other to be sympathetic. You want the other to be compassionate. Okay? When the other demands your sympathy and compassion, what do? Have you ever observed when you go to somebody asking for help, how do you go? The mask that you wear. And when somebody comes to you asking for help, what mask you wear? Have you observed that? When somebody comes to you asking for help, what mask you wear? Oh God. The mask of arrogance, the mask of superiority, obnoxious it is. And when you go to help for somebody, the mask that you wear is so loving, so pleasant. This is called self-obsession. That self-obsession is called attachment, and this attachment is a Holocaust. And this is called self-obsession. Beggars will be treated like beggar. Beggars will be treated like beggars. The king will be treated like the king. You have a choice to be a beggar or a king. If you are a king, it's different. If you are a beggar, it is different. And who is a king? Who's a king? The whole kingdom is his. The whole kingdom is his, but there are individual owners of everything there. You understand, no? Who's a king? King na ella patam aur perle irukuma. Very well to follow. He owns everything, though he doesn't own anything. So wherever he goes, it is that identity, it is his. Are you able to follow? Opposite of that is a beggar. What is being beggarly? What is being beggarly? Beggar means one who believes that he is not rich. ஒன்னு இல்லாத ஒரு பெக்கர் கிடையாது. என்கிட்ட ஒன்னு இல்லைன்னு நினைச்சுன்னு இருக்கிறவன் தான் பெக்கர். Again, I repeat, beggar doesn't mean who doesn't have anything. That's not beggarliness. Beggarliness is you believe that you don't have. Connect it with Purnam. You will understand. Connect it with Purnam. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadhaya, Purnameva Vasishyate. When you connect it with Purnam, you understand. What is understanding? There is no need to go and ask for anything. There is no need to be dependent on anything. But you have to ask, you will be dependent. Why do you have to ask? Why do you have to be dependent? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Do these two. Do these two. Do these two is the way to overcome is a way to handle the Holocaust. If not, the human being will be a victim of this attachment. And attachment to what all the human being is attached to? Material. Next is body. Physical. Isn't it? Physical. Everything is body oriented, isn't it? Everything is centering around the body. Centering around the body means either ignoring it completely or paying too much attention to the body. That is attachment to the body. Either you ignore completely and say, oh, I don't care, sir. Or so body conscious. So health conscious. Somebody asked me, what do you have for breakfast? I said, I don't decide what I have for breakfast in the first place. I said, okay, what do you have for breakfast? No, I don't decide. Anything that comes? No, what do you say? I said, I have some kanji. And what goes in that? I said, this goes in that. Oh, full of antioxidants and proteins and nutrients. The way it was described, now I don't even feel like having it now. Simple, you eat and you move on. Oh, it has antioxidants, it has nutrients, it has this, it has that. What a healthy breakfast you are having. Narayana. So much of body conscious. Are you able to follow? Well and physical. One hair turning gray is enough, isn't it? One hair turns gray is enough. From the time I remember, I am gray only, isn't it? From the time I remember, I have never seen myself with black and all. Romba black are there and color pannirpan artham, isn't it? So I have never seen white hair at all on my head. Oh. One white hair is enough to make the person feel miserable. Body will necessarily have a disease. Body will necessarily have some disease. Clear? That's why preventive, we should go for master health checkup, sir. Master health checkup, we will find out what all we have in advance and prevent. It will be there. You can coexist with it, isn't it? Yeah, our part you can be, you can do. Yeah, coexistence is possible. I have to be healthy. Someday you have to die. No, how will you die? Permanent healthy, you will never die. Yeah. Someday everybody has to die, and the way to die is what? You need to have some disease to die. No. Birth, growth, disease, decay, death. The 5 metaphorical changes: birth, growth, disease, decay, death. So what do? You live a healthy lifestyle, happily accepting the diseases. You have to coexist. I'm not saying don't take treatment or anything. You don't worry about it so much. You don't fear it so much. All that time you don't keep talking about it only, isn't it? At one point of time, you will be talking about job. Another point of time, you will be talking about wealth. Another point of time, you will be talking about children. Another point of time, you will be talking about health. Why sides, isn't it? You have become older. That's why you started talking about this problem, that problem, this health, that health. Same thing was there 20 years back also. What you did, you ignored, and why can't you ignore now? Young sir, the priority was something else. You could, if you didn't have any priority, then the small stomachache also will make you incapacitated for weeks together, or maybe one lifetime janma also. Who knows? Attachment to body. This rendu mudichirukrom. Wealth mudichirukrom, body mudichirukrom. Third, we have to start is emotion. The third thing that we have to start is emotion. Obviously, we are not starting now. We are only going to start next week. So attachment to wealth, attachment to body. Then the third thing is attachment at the emotional level. Attachment at the emotional level. Then there is something at the intellectual level also, there is an attachment. Anga kuda attachment irundha, what to do now? We think intellect is a solution for all attachment, and intellect itself gets attached to something else. Now, or you will follow the fourth level, at the intellectual level. Then the worst thing is attachment at the spiritual level. Attachment at the spiritual level is the worst kind of attachment. Why? Because you come into spirituality to get freedom from the attachment of all the other four, and you come and get attached here. Therefore, this attachment has to be aware of. When you are aware of, you will not get attached. Formula mari potukongo. Attachment equals unintelligent mental association. Attachment equals unintelligent mental association. Or class or equal to mathematics formula we keep giving. Yes, keep it. Attachment equals unintelligent mental association. If you are intelligent, you will associate, but you will not bind yourself mentally. Again, I repeat, if you are intelligent, you will associate. For association, you cannot escape. Till you die, you will be associating with something or the other. So there is no escape from association. And who do you associate and all doesn't matter. Whom and doesn't make any difference. So, what is the opposite of attachment now? Intelligent association by which you don't bind yourself mentally to anything. Attachment means unintelligent mental association. So, what is intellect now? Right? Right association. And what is right association? You associate, but don't bind yourself mentally. This is the Holocaust of attachment at the two levels, physical and emotional. Next week, we'll move on to the emotional.
Rama Subramaniam wants has posted a question.
Oh, or Potter, sorry, I didn't see. Ram Subramaniam.
Let me.
What is his question? Oh, okay, he has posted like it. Okay. Question posted by Ram Subramaniam. In the context of Swayamvit and Vedavit that came up last Sunday. Okay. Sir, please help me better understand the role of Guru Sandipini, who had taught Krishna and Balrama during their childhood days. Oh, it is about the Sunday class question. Sunday class question. அது எதுக்கு இது இன்னைக்கு வந்துடுது Ram Subramaniam. Why did it come today?
He says he is not available tomorrow.
இது நல்ல கதையா இருக்குது இது. I'm not available tomorrow. அடுத்த வீக் கேட்கணும் இல்லையா? I'm not available tomorrow. இல்லையா? Ram Subramaniam. If you're not available tomorrow, we will take it up whenever you are available. சரியா? Still don't worry. I'll give you a one-line answer. Vedavit means one who is established in the knowledge of Vedas. That is Vedavit. Opposite of Vedavit today is everybody says, I'm a self-learner. Yeah. It's like saying I'm a self-walker. Sir. There's no such thing called Swayamvit. It is always the Vedavit. Connection between Krishna and Balrama and Guru Sandipini. The tradition, the culture of Vedas is howsoever learned you are, you have to go and sit at the feet of somebody. Howsoever learned you are, howsoever wise you are. Therefore, Krishna and Balrama had to go to the Guru. And their Guru name is Sandipini. You follow? You should never ever say, I learnt it by myself. You can say it, it doesn't matter. But the culture here is very different. How do we see it here? We see it in a very different way. Whatsoever I know is Ahuhu. Taught to me by them. By who? By the great Parampara. And being having value to this parampara. You find Rama going and studying in Gurukula. You find Krishna going and studying in Gurukula. Everybody goes and studies in the Gurukula. Are you able to follow? You need to go there and study. Why? Self-correction is impossible. Second, if somebody corrects you, you'll get angry at that person who's correcting you. If somebody corrects you, you'll get angry at that person who's correcting you. Then what is the scope? Somebody has to correct you, and you also must understand that person has compassion and of a higher stature. You need somebody to correct you, and that person who's correcting you must be compassionate and be of a higher stature. I am Guru. And without the Guru, books will be there. Shastra, you cannot get exposed. You can go and buy a book and read it by yourself. But without the Guru, you cannot get exposed to that. That's the culture here. Are you okay, Ram Subramaniam?